Yo, what's going on, guys? And today, of course, we got to talk about our boy Cam Thomas. Recently, in a report, it came out, and this report, by the way, is by Curtis Rouser of Slam. And it was that in an interview, Cam Thomas knows his team is transitioning, but he's focusing on his self-improvement, hopefully leading to wins for the Brooklyn Nets. And when asked about what that improvement was, he says everything, all-around improvement on his offense, improving his shot, catch and shoot, percentage-wise, off the dribble, finishing around the basket. And he's trying all areas of growth. So I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section before we start today's video. What do you think of Cam Thomas? Do you think he can take that level of growth? I've always thought Cam Thomas could be a sixth man of the year candidate, which is still a very good player and a guy who could win many sixth man of the year awards. I don't know what he is past that. And that's no disrespect. I think he's a fantastic basketball player, but I think his best role is being that microwave who can score 20 points a game, like a Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, all those guys. You want to put Norman Powell, Malik Monk, all those guys. I think he's a similar player in that vein, which is a very good guy. So I want to hear your opinions on that one, and let's get right to it. So, Cam Thomas. Let me take a sip of water. Stay hydrated, my friends. Now, I'm going to look at this and tell you guys straight up. Cam Thomas is fun. I remember when he came out. I knew that, we all knew that Cam was the type of guy who scoring was something that came naturally to him. He showed it this year. Kid put up 22.5 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 3 assists a game, just under a steal a night. Shot true shooting, 55.5%, about league average, 36% from 3, 44 from the field. Now, he did miss some time due to an injury, and the kid's only 22 years old at this point. Heading into his 4th season, he played 66 games this season, 51 of them were starts, 8.5 points this season, 8.5 as a rookie, 10.5 his second season, 22.5 this year. So incrementally, he got better. And in the last 21 games this year, he averaged 25 points a game, 45% from the field, and 36%. He's actually scoring more efficiently during that time. I think the whole thing is that Cam's interpretation of an all-around game, sometimes, he's like, the problem with him is Thomas is a guy focused on buckets. I love the guy, and that's why I think he's the best as a sixth man. As he's not a guy who's really looking to be a facilitator, set screens, be a lockdown defender, or like a lot of people. I think Brooklyn knows that Cam is not a foundational piece, and he'll probably achieve his goal of averaging 25 points per game, but he's the type of player that I think that they're going to let him do that, and then a contending team will trade for him and then tell Cam, hey, come off the bench. And that's fine. Now, I know some people are going to be like, no, Cam Thomas is a starter. I really think he's better suited to come off the bench. And I think they're going to let him run wild and then to build up his stock. Guess what? In 15 games off the bench this season, he averaged 18.5 points, 2.5 assists, and 2.3 rebounds. Just have this guy. A team's going to trade for him. He's a professional scorer, like all the guys I mentioned. If he can show improvement on passing defense and his basketball IQ and keep his points per games up this season, he's going to be a good player for a team to trade for, but he's not a foundational piece. Yeah, he's still young for sure, but we know that this team is going to be a bottom feeder. He'll likely average 25 points because that team has no one, and he loves, to be that guy. And the thing is, in this report, he didn't say defense or playing. It's not all around. And the thing, I just think he's a guy that if he can go, he's going to score a lot and he's going to average. And like I said, this is why we're going to pull up. I think we need to pull up the trade machine of the Brooklyn Nets and talk about who's going to be one of those teams that are going to want to go after him. Because my assumption, we're looking at the Brooklyn Nets, Cam Thomas is this 1-year rental if you're a contending team. For example, let's say the Lakers, because everybody loves the Lakers. And they go, hey, we're desperate. We're going to get rid of D'Lo. All right. And for some reason, they love to bring back people that they're comfortable with. What if they just go, you ready, guys? You guys ready for this? I don't think you are. Let's do the right to swap. So the Nets, booyah. Who's saying no right here? Okay, let's say the deadline comes around and they hate D'Lo or whatever. D'Lo's riding high. Lakers love to go get guys that've been good for them. They brought back Dennis Schroeder twice already. Bring him back for a third time, and he's cheaper than D'Lo. And then you get yourself Cam Thomas at this point would get 17 million. You get yourself a 6 man. You get yourself a new point guard, and you move off of D'Lo, and you get yourself this way. Lakers don't get rid of their pick, but they give them the most favorable. So if the Lakers are still good next year, they keep their pick, and Nets is just kind of like whoever has the better pick, they swap it. I don't know, guys. What do you think? And I want to make sure. What's the rule they're saying? Okay, yeah. Exactly. So, what do you think of that one? I think that one's not bad. Now, another team, because they don't have a 6 man, and that's why I put the Lakers. I think the Miami Heat are another one that could be interesting for Cam Thomas. And I do think it would be a multiplayer trade where you go here. If they do send Cam Thomas, I think they would be trading also for like Dorian Finney-Smith, in my opinion. So the way that I would think this would work is, where is our big dog? I'm about to interview Zaire Williams in like 2 hours. So there's that. Like dead ass. Like yeah, Duncan Robinson. Do you think they would put Nikola Jovic out there on this deal? I'm just so torn if they would or if they wouldn't. I know Pelle Larson, someone they just drafted. Let's say they do throw in Pelle Larson in this deal just for good measure, and then this deal, I don't know if there'd be many picks. I really don't. Again, I think this would be the swap where they go favorable. They just do a favorable swap, and then yeah. So they're just swapping picks and then 2 seconds, and then it's Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Thomas, Duncan Robinson, and Pelle Larson for Cam Thomas and Dorian Finney-Smith. That's just how I think, because then they get themselves a score. It allows them with like, and if you guys don't like that deal, for example, if you're like, oh, they wouldn't give up, like, why would the Nets do that? How about this one? You guys ready? Wait, fuck. I took off the wrong guys. I hate when I do that. We got to go down. I think they're all the way at the bottom now. Are they? No. It's, you got to go. Yeah, I did the right thing. I just was stuck on the wrong menu. Ready? Oh, money. They're hard cap. Okay. So they would have to see. This is where then money wise this becomes difficult. If they did do this deal, I think they just wouldn't go for 2 non-defenders. If they went, because then you're like, okay, what if they did it for Cam Johnson? My whole problem is that like bringing in Cam Johnson, they then have 2 non-defenders, and I don't know if they want that. But then someone would be like, well, if they're doing this, they probably want to get more scoring, even more scoring, and this is where it becomes so complicated. I think it becomes so complicated right here. No, where's Duncan? Let's get rid of Duncan in this deal. This actually could work right here. Dorian, Cam, Thomas. You would have to include. Maybe that could work out right there. I mean, that'd be a dream scenario if I was them.